This is day 2 of 4.7, inverse linear functions. You should have your notes open to the same page that you see on this screen, and take notes and listen to the video as I explain this lesson. If at any point it's going too fast, hit the pause button and catch up on your notes. Inverse relations. If one relation contains the element AB, then the inverse relation will contain the element BA. So the only thing that happened was the A and the B switched spots. So you can see an example. If I have the ordered pair -3, -16, and I switch the X and the Y, the inverse point is -16, -3. Likewise, if A's point is -1, 4, the inverse of that is 4, -1. So the X and Y's just swapped spots. So if you had X and Y, just flip them around to make the inverse point. So example 1, find the inverse of each relation. So you have a set of ordered pairs here. We just need to flip all the X and Y's around to write the new inverse ordered pairs. So I'm going to start with a little curly brace. Instead of -3, 26, we're going to have 26, -3. Instead of 2, 11, it's going to be 11, 2. Instead of 6, -1, it's going to be -1, 6. And instead of -1, 20, it's going to be 20, -1, and end the curlies. So this is the inverse. In part B, they give the X, Y in a table format. So think if you're switching the Y and the X on these, we need to write them as ordered pairs. So instead of -4, 3, -4, -3, we're going to have -3, -4 as our first ordered pair. Instead of -2, 0, we're going to have 0, -2. Instead of 1, 4.5, we're going to have 4.5, 1. And instead of 5, 10.5, it's going to be 10.5, 5. So you just switch the X and the Y position. Then you might have a graph. So the line is already graphed. We need to find some ordered pairs that are on that line, make a table, switch X and Y to make the inverse points, and then graph the inverse on the same coordinate plane. So I'm going to look for points that cross the grid marks at nice spots. And the table has 4, so you can use any one of these 5. So we're going to go -1, 4, 0, 2, 1, 0, and -2, -2. So those are the first 4 points. Now the inverse, we're going to switch X and Y around. So now this is going to be 4, -1, 2, 0, 0, 1, and -2, -2 kind of stays the same. And we need to graph them on the same coordinate plane. So I'm going to take 4, -1, and remember this is the point 4, -1, which is right there. 2, 0 is the ordered pair 2, 0. So that's here. 0, 1 is right here. And -2, -2 is, whoops, -2. Oh, I made a mistake there actually. Fix this. This point was 2, -2, and which means this one is a +2. Sorry about that. So -2, +2. And notice I made that correction because my points did not line up in a straight line, so I knew I made a mistake. So that's actually good that I did that, so you realize to catch your own mistakes there. But you should have a ruler, draw your straight line through those points, arrows on the ends, and that is the inverse. All right, and we have one more graph here. So again, I'm going to pick some ordered pairs that are on this line. So here's a nice spot right here. We can go that point. All right, so we're gonna have 3 here. So notice the grid is counting by 2's. So the first point is gonna be -6 for the x and -6 for the y. And then we got -4, 2. And we also have -2 and 10. So we're going to flip those around for the inverse. So this one doesn't change, -6, -6. This is going to now be 2, -4. And this one is 10, -2. And we're going to put those on the same graph. So -6, -6 is the same point. 2, -4, and 10, -2. Take your roller, draw a straight line, put arrows on the end, and that is your inverse. So if you've listened to this video, we're actually listening to it and not just watching it, I want you to draw a Christmas tree on the bottom of this page, please. And I'll be checking for that tomorrow, and I'm sure Miss Coffee will as well in her classes. After that, please turn to the huddle page. So you have a few huddle questions to find the inverse of ordered pairs. You have 2 of them, you have 3 tables, and you have 3 graphs. So please do those questions. And then when you're done, let the sub know. They'll check the answers, and then they'll pass out tonight's homework, which is a 4-7 practice worksheet, inverses on the front with 6 graphing review questions on the back.